Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and Alvin Bragg, the district attorney with the weakest case, in my opinion, against Donald Trump, well, he's in a lot of trouble. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. Now, Jonathan Turley was speaking to Fox News when he was speaking about Alvin Bragg's case, and you may have heard him speak about this before. But what he said was his case could not be worse. He said it's very weak. These are statutes that, it would be insane to see applied to anyone else. And he believes, of course, that it's only being applied to Donald Trump because he's Donald Trump. He talked about in this video the incredible weakness of Bragg's case, which he believes is falling apart at the seams. And that seems to be a common theme with a lot of these cases. They're falling apart. They're falling apart because they're like a house of cards. They're built on very, very thin evidence and very, very stretched laws. They're doing gymnastics in some of these cases to get these laws to work, to fit a crime that they're trying to find. It's one thing when you have a crime in front of you, you're like, we got to prosecute this. But don't forget, this is a case Alvin Bragg didn't want to prosecute. That is, until somebody from Joe Biden's Justice Department got hired by Alvin Bragg, and then suddenly this case came back to life. You don't think that's going to be mentioned at trial by the defense? No. This case is very weak, and it should be very concerning for Alvin Bragg. But I want you to hear a legal expert talk about it in Jonathan Turley. I'm going to play that video for you now, and then please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. I'm Carmine Sabia for Explain America. We love you guys. God bless you. Take care, everybody.
Team pushing to get the judge overseeing his hush money trial off the case. They say the judge's daughter works for a political consulting firm with Democratic clients, posing a conflict of interest, writing, quote, "There is an unacceptable risk that the court's family relationships will influence judicial conduct." Joining us now, Fox News contributor Jonathan Turley, a constitutional law professor at George Washington University. Here's from the letter from President Trump's lawyers. "It can no longer be ignored that Authentic's commercial interests are benefited by developments in this case that harm President Trump's penal interests and divert his efforts from running his leading campaign for the presidency by requiring him to prepare and sit for trial during the general election." The DA's response to the case was that the daisy chain of innuendos is a far cry from evidence that this court has a direct personal, substantial, or pecuniary interest in reaching a particular conclusion. I lay all that out there, Jonathan, so people get both sides. This is what they're saying. Now let's hear from you. Does the Trump team have standing here with this concern?
Well, they have standing. You can bring this in a court of law, and that's where this belongs. It shouldn't be hashed out in social media. Attorneys all the time raise not just conflicts, but the appearance of conflicts. Some involve family members. Indeed, many on the left have long attacked Supreme Court justices over their family members and their activities. But with 2 weeks to go, it'd probably be easier to move the courthouse than the judge in this case. And the reason is that they are very reluctant, unless you have something quite direct and sort of unassailable. We don't know what they have, but generally the activities of an adult child do not prove determinative for these types of motions. That once that child is an adult, then they're not really, their actions are not attributed to those of the judge or vice versa.
You mentioned the Supreme Court, and it's true that the left has been furious about Clarence Thomas, and they say that his wife was agitating on the right and even tried to make some sort of connection on January 6th. Maybe there is. I don't want to litigate that here. But Clarence Thomas has not recused himself from cases. Is that a model here for this judge to say, I don't have anything to do with my daughter's business?
Well, those attacks preceded on Thomas and his wife preceded January 6th, so they've been attacking him over her political involvement for years. And I don't even think he has to cite that. I mean, the fact that it's an adult child is usually enough, but the Trump team is asking to file, and they appear to be suggesting they have something more. We'll have to see. When you look at these filings, you're looking for direct action from the judge or direct benefits to his family linked to the case. That could be campaign contributions. It can be campaign appearances. We just don't know. But the odds are against the team in dislodging this judge.
I wonder also about just the court of public opinion, right? So we're covering the story. Others are covering the story about this. And in some ways, because President Trump has to wage part of his presidential campaign from the courtroom where he's required to be, there might be a way at least to get some earned media on this. I'll give you the final word on that.
Well, the optics are horrendous. I mean, this is a very weak case. In my view, it is weaponization of the system. And now you have these gag orders flying right before an election that could turn on the weaponization of the criminal justice system. So this could not be worse for our country. And I think these judges have gone too far with some of these orders.
Jonathan Turley, thank you for your thoughts this morning. We'll see what